Hello and welcome to another episode of a World War II weapon guide. In this episode, the Panzerschreck, or commonly known as Tank's or Tank's Bane in German, this German rocket launcher fired an 88mm rocket and penetrated more than 100 to 160mm worth of armor. In-game, damage is more impressive than that of the bazooka. Personnel-wise, you'll be able to kill people within 2 meters, or 6 feet, making it more forgiving than that of the bazooka. However, when it comes to the score streaks, it is going to be the same. You'll be able to kill one within the counter spy plane and the regular spy plane, but with the ball gunner turret, you'll be needing up to 3. Your range, however, is going to be the same, surprisingly. Originally, it had a more meandering path, but later patches made this more straighter, much like that of the bazookas, and you have no penetration ability to speak of too. Similarly, the M1 bazooka and the Panzerschreck basically don't have a rate of fire, because it needs a reload every time you fire it with just one rocket on the side. It is a free-fired weapon after all. Your hipfire, however, there is none. You must aim before firing, and that is a priority too if you're going to be firing from the hip. It will automatically do that if you do so. Similar to the bazooka, it also has no factor when it comes to its recoil. The recoil is visible and will kick upwards, but it's not going to be a factor because of it being a single-fired launcher. Well, your aim times are going to be different comparing that to the bazooka. When it comes to just regular walking and that, you can aim quickly with around 300 milliseconds. However, if you are sprinting, you could be vulnerable for counterattack because the aim time is going to be slow, at around 500 milliseconds. Your speed is going to be as slow as the LMGs, and just like the other launcher, at 90% of the base speed. With the rocket launcher, you get one rocket in your weapon, as usual, and one in reserve. And then once you have launched and killed people with bullets, you'll be able to resupply yourself with another rocket. Reloads, however, are going to be the same as the bazooka. It's not 3 seconds, it's 2.5 seconds. About this weapon, we're going to be using it more as a suicide bomber class, able to take down not just score streaks from above, but it's going to be morally interested in taking down people. Unfortunately, this weapon isn't really good when it comes to people that have hunkered or armored division. They will need 2 shots in order to kill, and they can easily kill you once you fire your first rocket, so be prepared for that. But they're also very useful when it comes to taking down a lot of people when it comes to key objectives or when they're cluttered around a building or window. You can get surprising multi-kills. Compare that to the bazooka. So lean a little bit more towards the people or lean a little bit less, this weapon is more forgiving. But as for score streaks, lean onto your score streak once it's aimed at. The closer you are, the more or less lean that you're going to need. The farther away, you're going to need more lean. But it does take some practice, but it's better to have than that of a counter spy plane, depending. So for builds, you could choose up to 2. Armored is more safe because you'll be able to have less explosive damage. The other is expeditionary, and that's the one I recommend the most. You'll be able to have not just 2 tacticals of your choice, but 2 lethals of your choice too. You'll be able to have more bang for your buck. So for weapons, you could either use the LMGs if you want to use it more of a regular launcher and to have a usual person to take care of, or you could use the shotguns for more close range aggressiveness, much more for the build for our suicide class. For shotguns, any of the shotguns could do, but for my preferred choice, you could use the combat shotgun, or for this case, more usually, the toggle action. But for tacticals and lethals, you could use either the gas grenades, you could use the stun grenades, or you could use satchel charges or semtex for more aggressive use. So in total, the Panzerschreck is basically the more superior launcher. It has a more explosive radius than that of the bazooka, and it's quite versatile too, able to take down not just people, but score streaks as well. you'll be able to resupply with launched, and it's able to be used not in just close ranges, but also in longer ranges too, depending on the situation. However, it does suffer from the usual comebacks or the setbacks of that of a launcher. Slow handling, a moderate reload, and you're going to be reloading a lot. But this weapon can be very useful if you're not going to be going against people with hunkered or armored division. You'll easily be killed if you try to fire at them and they just basically resist it. So in conclusion, this is the more superior launcher than that of the bazooka. So once you get this, you can basically throw the M1 in the trash. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and be sure to look at my Facebook page down below. And for our next episode, we are going to be heading towards the rifles once more, in which we're going to be reviewing the M1A1 carbine. Until then, Galacticstorm saying, keep charging, bitches.